and
Done.
round. What the fuck? Okay.
Hi. Hello,
Hi.
welcome everyone to another Experience Matters show. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. This show, as the name suggests, is pretty much everything about customer experience, right? So we go live at the same time every Friday, so that's 10 a.m. IST, 12:30 p.m. Singapore time. And the goal of the show is, we bring in subject matter experts, folks who've just been in the industry for years, right, to talk about their experience. So we can collectively learn from their experience, learn about the trends in the market research industry, in the customer experience space, best practices in setting up your programs, and just making sure that you get the most out of it. So that's really our goal every Friday. Let me do a quick introduction, right? So I'm Shubhani Phillip. I'm part of the APAC team here at QuestionPro, and I'm here every week just hosting these wonderful guests, right? Well, almost every week. I wasn't on the last one. Today we have Prachi with us. Prachi heads
Hello.
the commercial business for the APAC team, an integral part of the team, integral part of the Experience Matters show. Prachi, thank you for joining 2 weeks in a row now.
Yes. Well, I'm always there behind the scenes, and I have had the pleasure of being on screen for the last
Yeah,
two
we need to
two
get you in
weeks.
front of camera more weeks now.
Yeah.
How's it going? Where are you?
All good. Finally have travel plans this weekend. I mean, if anybody has been, if you've been watching this every week, we usually discuss what's happening this weekend, and mostly everybody's traveling.
Yeah.
Finally, I have travel plans this weekend. Going to the hills, going to be freezing for 1 week, working out of the hills. So
Nice.
hopefully next experience matters. We're going to have a really nice background with mountains and greenery. It's going to be fun.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Looking forward to it. We shall live vicariously through you.
Yes. Yes.
uh, all right. Are you leaving this weekend, did you say? Or are you,
Yes.
when?
Leaving bright and early tomorrow.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. I think we've got a few people who have
Yeah.
joined, right? Shall we kick this off? Let me start sharing my screen and then we can take it from there. All right. So, like I said at the top of the show, right, we bring in the industry experts and we talk about things about the industry and all of that. And we realize we're 15 shows in and we really haven't spoken about, Question Pro's product suite as yet. So, this is what the show is going to be about, right? We have quite a few platforms and industries that the platforms work best in. And different licenses and tiers within that. So it can get, there are quite a few to choose from. So we'll walk you through each of these licenses. What are the key features that come with each of those licenses and the use cases for them, right? So that you can understand, okay, which is a license that works best for you. And then we'll hint on, what is the latest product within Question Pro and the key features of that as well at the end of the show. Uh,
Perfect.
All right, so the solution stack, right? That you can see quite a few boxes here, but we operate in mainly in these three verticals. The first one is your research and insights, which is pretty much everything connected to market research, right? Where you can run any sort of market research survey, whether it is brand tracks, where we are talking about, ad testing. We have A/B testing there, concept tests, and even ad hoc one-time surveys, right? That you can run with our lower end tiered licenses as well. So. Um, all of that kind of sits under the market research platform, what we call research and insights. The second vertical is customer experience. So the whole thing, it leverages our core platform, which is their survey. So you get all of those benefits as well, but it's designed so that you can collect feedback from the customer across that journey that the customer takes with the brand, right? So identifying those key touch points, sending out the surveys in real time, making sure the entire organization is customer centric so that they are able to get the data in real time as well and action upon them as soon as possible. And then our third vertical is employee experience, right? So similar to your customer experience where you're collecting feedback from the customer throughout their journey with the brand, here you're collecting feedback from your employees throughout their journey with the company, right? It's as important, and it's the response that we've been getting from our clients now for employee experience. It's suddenly come to the forefront. People understand the importance of it and how much of an impact it can make, not just from an employee retention point of view, but from the top line for a company as well, right? Because it always affects revenue. But yeah, so within employee experience, there are a few product options as well, and we'll come into each of those. But let's start with research and insights. Prachi, I'll just hand it over to you. So I think these are the different buckets that we have within research.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to be talking about some of these licenses, which are pretty much part of our core surveys platform. And while we're going through this, any questions, just feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll get to them during the show. And if we aren't able to get to them during the show, we'll definitely reach out to you, LinkedIn, email, whatever, however you reach out to us. Okay, great. So first of all, of course, talking about our essentials license. And as you can see there, it's free. So this is, yeah, so this is the license tier that we start off with. It is, it's a great license. It's a great place for, students to start off when they're doing their thesis research. It's great for small ad hoc projects that you're running. If you're a small team that's just kind of exploring, maybe doing some concept test of how you could enrich your programs by actually gathering feedback, great place to explore. It's a single user license, and typically, so use case wise, if you're looking at maybe using a Google form, or I know Microsoft Teams has a form that you could also use as a part of it. Some of the things you'll notice is they're quite rigid in terms of how you can customize the look and feel of your surveys, and so it's pretty much a set template. You can't do You have some logic options, but not too many, and having your brand colors really truly affected in that is kind of rigid. But we didn't want to keep any of those limitations on even our free license. So you can run surveys there, you can have your brand colors and everything, brand fonts on the survey, and really give that personal feel to your surveys.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's free forever, right? There is no
Yeah.
okay, we say free and then we're free only for the first 2 months, and then we charge you for it. This is no asterisk there at all. It's just completely free, right?
Yep, free, and you can collect 1,000 responses per survey. And typically, if you're running small ad hoc projects, that is plenty of completed responses, right? Gives you plenty of room.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. And then one step above from there, you then find the advanced license, which now is giving you more number of responses that you can collect. It's still a single user license, better fit for, small teams doing ad hoc projects, possibly running relationship NPS questionnaires, because we have the NPS question type built in on our advanced portal. You also have the analytics side of things, where you can analyze all your responses that are coming in. You can analyze all your, let's say if you're running a relationship NPS, you can analyze how people, who are your detractors, passives, promoters, at lots of advanced logic functionalities. So your surveys can be really smart, right? So your respondents don't get fatigued because they're seeing questions that might not be relevant to them. Lots of logic options over there. And like I said, great for ad hoc projects again. Typically, if you're looking at running something that is going to be a recurring study over a period of time, um, probably not the best license for that, but we have other solutions which we're going to walk you through over time. Advanced license, great for your small ad hoc projects,
Yeah.
brand awareness studies as well, and just doing not just relationship NPS, but customer satisfaction surveys. But again, great if there is one person who's typically running, managing the surveys, running them, gathering the insights, and then your stakeholders don't need access to the platform. You're probably just sharing offline reports with them, which you can then download directly from our platform, do some work on those, download in Excel. Right, you pretty much have control over your data there.
Brilliant.
Right. And then once you grow, let's say the team grows, your stakeholders need more control or more involvement in the sort of programs that are being run. There are different teams that might want to use the same platform and run different surveys. Let's say you have a team running some, small research projects. You have another team that's running small employee experience projects. Team edition, great fit, right? You have multiple users. You can control who has access to what surveys. You can control who has access to edit versus just look at the reports. And you get more responses now because, of course, we understand more people are using the platform, more teams are probably involved. Collect up to 100,000 responses, right? And that's uh, we don't see many teams that actually manage to go over that limit.
That,
So,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
but if
Yeah.
you do, yeah, but if you do, you can range up to 500,000 responses, right? So plenty of data storage there.
Yeah.
Um, you can create also for small research teams if you're doing some ad hoc research projects. You have logic types like question randomization, setting quotas for your respondents, and of course custom dashboards, very important, because everybody might be looking at different data in different splits, different departments or sub teams. So you have custom dashboards for your stakeholders. Yeah.
Yeah, so
What
I
else?
mean, across all of these licenses itself, right? Before you touch upon Research Edition, which is your full feature license, there are teams who will be using the software who either come with the knowledge of they've used software before, they know how to create the surveys. Some of them may not, have that knowledge in place. So do I know there is a 24/7 customer support, phone, chat, email channel that they can reach out to for support. But at which license do they get a dedicated team that's mapped to their account?
Yep, and that starts with the team edition license.
Yeah.
So, yeah, more of your team members are a part of your projects now. Definitely, we understand that there'll be more questions and more assistance needed. So, we have dedicated account managers, we have dedicated enterprise support reps.
Mm-hmm.
We do quarterly business reviews because the whole point is yes, you have the platform to run your surveys, to run your programs, but we want to know if you're actually, if your programs are on track. And so
Yeah.
quarterly, we touch base with all our clients, find out how projects are going, recommend any enhancements, loop
Mm-hmm.
in subject matter experts. So it's really, it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and then like you said, our full service research module, right? So jumping into the research edition, which is like the name suggests, typically ideal for research teams, research agencies, where your projects are more, more streamlined, more geared towards reaching out to maybe an external audience or to your community of customers. You're doing more, you're doing more regular projects. You're doing long-term studies. Research
Mm-hmm.
edition, beautiful for that. And there are a whole bunch of advanced research tools that are built in, right? So things like you can run your pricing analysis. You don't really have to use your regular, um, you know, open text question
Yeah.
types or rating question types. We've built in, your conjoint analysis. We've built in your
Your
quota
banners
type
that
questionnaire.
they can use for
Yeah,
pricing.
van
If
listing.
you replicate that in an
Exactly.
open-ended, I mean, it's going to be a task to analyze that data. Right? So,
It's
yeah.
just not even possible, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have analytics, which are analytical tools which are built to support those question types specifically. So let's say if you're running a turf, right, you get all the inputs. You can actually, on the analytics side, you can actually take the data that has come in, and the platform is pretty much going to show you what is your best rated profile, what's your worst rated profile, right? It does, the platform is doing all the work. You just download that report, you share the live dashboard with your stakeholders. Um, yep, everything is pretty much built in. And like I said, great for pricing studies, great for concept tests. There are so many features we've built in for testing, whether testing images, right? So let's say you're running advertisements, you have a control group of people that you want to reach out to and see how they are reacting towards a particular image, towards particular text. We have question types for that. We have heat maps, we have hotspots. Your respondents can then select what part of the image they want to give a feedback on and actually give you comments on that, whether they like it, don't like it, why they don't like or why they like it. um, Really great to capture the top of mind feedback from your audience.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's great for brand tracking studies. Like I said, you're doing things on a more structured, regular basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and multiple users, because this is now you ideally want to have all your stakeholders, you want them to have access to the information that you're gathering, right? So these could be research teams in a company that run projects for multiple departments. They gather, they run projects for, let's say, they're running projects for their product team, they're running projects for their marketing team, and all the insights that are coming in really need to be democratized, right? They need to be available to everybody in the team. So you have unlimited users here. So you know, ideally get as many people from your organization onto the platform to
Yeah.
really consume this information. And
Yeah.
it's a full service license.
Edit,
Yeah.
right? They can also come in and create their own surveys. So let's say, even
Correct.
if it's like basic surveys, but you've got multiple teams within the organization who need to run surveys like this, you can, because of the unlimited users who have read and write access, you just, everyone can be using the same platform. So
Yeah.
that's beneficial as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And full support team, account managers, enterprise support, um, quarterly business reviews, and really collaborative effort to make sure that we're all headed in the same direction.
Yeah.
And I think, Shivani, you'll talk about this more, but all of our licenses then can be added on with our with the audience piece, where we help you find the right audience to get feedback from,
Yeah.
and our services piece. But I think you'll be, yes, please talk more about that.
Yeah, yeah, our all of our licenses here, the platforms are completely built to be self-serve, right? You can come in and run the projects completely on your own. Sometimes, like I mentioned, if you don't have experience running projects like this, we can come in, help you run that. You have like Prachi mentioned, the support team that's mapped your account. We also have a full service option, right? So if you're not sure, you just have an objective in place, you're not sure how to build out that program, you can come to us with that objective. We will design the whole research project. We will design the questionnaire, collect the feedback, do the analysis, and come to you with those insights, right? So we do have a full service option as well. Or you can just run it yourself on your own, on the platform, and then just get the insights immediately. So yeah, so we do have the platform. We do have a full service option as well. Now, when you're reaching out to customers as part of your research project, sometimes you have a database that you can reach out to, right? But what if you want to do things like competition analysis, or you're entering a new market, you don't have a way to access the respondents that you want to reach out to? That's where you can leverage audience, right? That's our panel. As you can see there, 22 million, over 22 million respondents that you can target. We have all of their profiling information. So if you come to us saying that, we want to target females within the age group of 25 to 35 who've purchased something in the past 3 months. We will qualify them and then send the survey to them, collect those responses, and then you will be able to see the data directly on your QuestionPro platform itself, right? So the entire process is very transparent. It's very easy to use. It's just a simple 3-step process. You come to us with that target audience, based on their target audience and the incidence rate. We come back to you with a quote which is approved, and then for typically all of the projects that I've worked on, it's been on the higher end a week, but maybe if it is a niche requirement or a target group, there it can go up to 2 weeks. But that's how quickly you can get the feedback from these respondents who there was no way to get in touch with them previously, right? We do have niche panels as well. So just to give you an example, right, we're just going to be launching a study covering IT infrastructure decision makers in companies that have a revenue more than 10 crores, right? It's very, and that's in India, right? So very specific there. And we were able to go back to the client saying that this is the panel size that we have, and they wanted to do 100 survey responses for that, right? So very niche B2B as well, that like I mentioned for this infrastructure decision makers, right? So all you need to do is come to us with that built out. If you don't have that target group built out, you don't know who you should be reaching out to, that's where the subject matter expert would help you with that. That's where your customer success manager who's mapped your account can help you build that out, brainstorm together, and identify who's that you need to be reaching out to. Efficiency and quality, I mean, every member that's part of the panel is vetted. We do have, double opt-in. The whole thing is transparent. We do verification as well. So when the data comes to you, you know that this is a valid response. You know that, all of those quality checks that are put into place. And I think we did an entire show on, audience and the quality of the data that comes out of our audience projects. So,
yeah, and we do a lot of these. Yeah, we do a lot of these studies for ourselves as well, right? With Instant Answers, which is now a Slack integration.
Yeah, absolutely. If we need quick answers, we need to find out maybe things that are what are they looking at, new features that they're looking at. It's just a way of getting those answers quickly.
Yep. So we also run a lot of fun surveys with that.
Yeah, that is true.
How many people are watching the Super Bowl? Yeah. Does everybody have Zoom cameras on when they're on meetings? But yeah, like all sorts of feedback you can get. And for whoever's watching, like I said, we have a Slack integration with Instant Answers, which is our panel. And once you have that Slack integration, you can do pretty much what we're doing, right? Just keep, whenever a question pops up, run your survey. Within 45 minutes, you get your responses. And it's usually about 250 to 300 sample size in different countries. So anyone who's interested, just drop us a message and, we'll take you through what Instant Answers is and how you can set up that Slack integration.
Awesome. The second one here, the platform I want to talk about is communities, right? Now, the use case here is that if you want to collect feedback from a certain group of your customers or a certain target group on a regular basis, it just makes sense to create your own community. So you can think of it as your own little panel of your customers or your target group that resides on a customized community that's been created for your organization. Right? You can choose to invite customers from your existing database. You can choose to go the audience route and recruit the target audience that you want to be as part of the community. You can leverage the surveys platform, right? So all of the built-in logics and the pricing questions and concept tests and all of those advanced question types, all of the advanced logics that can be incorporated in the surveys and the analysis, right? All of that can be incorporated and send it to the members that are based in your community, right? So that is one from a quantitative aspect. You can also run qualitative research with them. So whether it is focus groups, right? You're coming out with a new concept and you want to see what the feedback is. You can organize overnight, just a quick focus group, invite certain people who are part of the community, and they can all join that focus group discussion at a particular set date and time. You can also do things like discussion and idea board. So it's not just a one-way interaction of the company with the customers, but it becomes a way for the customers to give you the feedback and for that two-way interaction to take place. So that idea board is there. You can have topics, you can have discussions, you can have a place where they can upload documents, files, pictures. So it's a very, very interactive community. Yeah, I like how Mark just added a comment there, and Mark, I was going to bring that up because I loved it when Dan brought that up, right? So if you want to look at survey, thinking of it, surveys is like a one-night stand. You might know some information, you might not get all of the information that you wanted, but communities is like a long-term relationship, right? So where you can get in-depth knowledge about your members, and a lot of interaction there on an ongoing basis. Right, so that is communities. The next vertical is customer experience. Let me set up a little bit for this one, right?
This is our subject matter expert for customer experience. Anybody watching?
So the customer experience platform is built and every feature is designed to make sure that the company becomes customer centric, right? So making sure that entire, whether it is helping you design the entire customer journey map, identifying those key touch points, those key moments of truth that play a role in the brand's perception of the company, collecting feedback from those touch points in real time through multiple channel options, right? Whether website pop-ups is your best option, or whether an SMS or an email would work better for those interaction types. So making sure you're collecting feedback from the customer through all of those touch points, making sure that the channels through which you're reaching out to them is the right channel, so you get good response rates there. And the data that you're collecting doesn't, just kind of get lost and sits on somebody's desktop. It gets sent to the right people with actionable insights there as well, so that they are able to work upon that. They're able to actually put the prioritize what the action areas are supposed to be, prioritize the roadmap for improvement within the company, right? So a lot of features that are there as part of customer experience, your real-time dashboards that you can see there, you have workflow setups, right? So when I said you need to be collecting feedback from all of those different key touch points, there isn't somebody at the back end, waiting for somebody to complete a transaction or doing it at the end of the day. The whole thing becomes automated, and it is set up when the customer comes on board, and then it's what we call the workflow setup, right? So the surveys, as soon as a trigger comes in, the surveys go out, and based on the criteria, different questionnaires can get deployed, different email templates can get deployed. It's just how you want to set that up. You can have complex workflows, you can have simple workflows. It's completely up to you, and no real restrictions there at all. Disposition metrics, so so just to make sure, like I said, you're getting the highest response rates possible. You'll be able to on the platform itself see, right, I sent out so many, these are so many that are the feedback that we're getting, completes, incompletes, and you're able to track that and make sure that the questionnaire that you're asking is relevant, making sure that the channel that you're using is relevant, and you're getting the highest response rates. And then we have a whole ticketing module as well, so that if a ticket can get generated, you can define the basis on which you want the tickets to be generated, right? Let's say you have some companies have all detractors. If a person says that they're a detractor, then automatically a ticket gets generated. Sometimes, unfortunately, for some industries, that detractor, the numbers are too large, right? So they're looking at a combination of detractors plus a particular customer cohort. And if that matches, then only then is a ticket generated. It goes to the right person in the company so they can act upon it in real time. Right? Now, when a person reaches out, if they're not able to resolve it with the customer, they do have an option to escalate that as well. So that entire ticketing module is there as part of the platform. Give me a second. Yeah. So, and we also have NPS Plus. Yeah, can see Ken commenting there. We've had him talk about NPS Plus quite a few times on this show.
Yeah.
It's, something that's proprietary to QuestionPro that was designed and created by Ken himself, where you can understand how many of your passive customers are actually behaving like your detractors. So you know your detractors are at high risk of churn, right? But very often your passive customers, companies don't really pay too much attention to them. But how many of your passive customers, based on their responses, are actually behaving like your detractors, right? So we put that into account, give you what that percentage is, and also give you those key areas that are actually the causing the issues. And the second part of NPS Plus is where, we love NPS Plus too, Ken. And the second part of NPS Plus is where we're able to get recommendations from the customers themselves, right? And all of the other people who are answering the survey, they can vote on the suggestions given by people who have answered the survey before them. So at the end of the day, once all of those responses comes in, you get this curated list of recommendations that are from your customers that are actually validated by your customers themselves, right? So half of the work is taken care of from there. And that, again, available in dashboard, available in real time, and can just be taken directly into action planning. So so that's the highlights and the key features with customer experience. I'll quickly move to employee experience, right? So I hopped so much on collecting feedback from your customer across the journey. Equally important is collecting feedback from your employee across the journey with the company, right? So and you can do this by automating that entire employee experience program. We upload and integrate with your internal HR system, put in our rosters there, so you can deploy those surveys to your employee, whether it's onboarding surveys, whether it is ad hoc, pulse surveys that you want to collect feedback from your employees on, you want to, culture surveys. We also have a separate platform for 360, right? So 360 feedback surveys where an employee can give feedback for their on their performance, and multiple people within the organization, whether it is 5 people or whether it is 12 people, we can accommodate all of it. There is no restriction there in the number of people who are also going to be giving their feedback on my performance, right, on the employee's performance. So fairly detailed there in terms of the analysis as well. So there again, you have real-time analytics, which get sent to the employee, can get sent to the administrator, and they can action upon it, right? So it's not just giving you this dump of raw data, it's actually distributing it for you, telling you, okay, this is what your overall company scores are looking like, this is what your your employee scores are looking like, this is what you need to act on. So kind of just breaks it down for you as detailed as possible, so it's very actionable.
And the CX and EX modules come together very beautifully. Funny.
In fact, sometimes it's because largely it's handled by separate teams, right? In very few companies do you see people who are running the CX program, running the EX program as well. So because of that, there isn't too much coordination, and they just kind of work in silos, and it shouldn't be that way, right? The improvements that you see, you can leverage so many of those improvements that are coming from your employee experience and incorporate that into your customer experience platform as well, and into servicing and how you want to service your customers. But that kind of sums up the large platforms that we have as part of QuestionPro. Now, I know we spoke about silos a little bit. Everybody's working separately. There isn't enough knowledge sharing, and we've seen this across quite a few of our customers, right? And which is why Vivek is QuestionPro's CEO, thought of this, and we've built out Insights Hub. It's out, it's happy, it's a lot of customers are using it. Happy employees make for happy customers, and all these teams need to be on the customer team. Absolutely can. I 100% agree with you on that. And maybe Insights Hub can help with that, right? Because what it does is it takes into account currently what is happening is that your product team runs research, sits with the product team. The maybe the customer experience or the call center customer service team runs surveys, the knowledge stays with them, and HR runs surveys, knowledge stays with them, right? uh, and there everybody is working in silos. There isn't too much interaction with the different teams. But what insights team does is helps you, and you can see there, right, organize, explore, and discover all of the research that is conducted within the company and organize it in one single repository, right? So you can whether it's the insights are presented, making sure that everybody has a workflow in place. If they're starting a program, give them a workflow of the intake process for the project, and even for past projects as well. They can put in all of that data, whether it is in whichever form, right, in an Excel form, in a PPT form, in a PDF form. Just upload it there, right? So you can things that, and you see the knowledge graph as well, because right now there is all of the insights that are being generated. No one's leveraging that, right? Your other teams are not leveraging that. Instead, they just recruit another agency, or they run it another whole project themselves and redoing work that has already been done, which would make no sense for any company, right? It's just a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of money. So having that capability of uploading all of this data, you can identify those key nuggets, just select them, and that's saved as insights that other people within the company can share as well, right? And let's say I'm completing a survey, and I've completed this research. I've got these 5 insights that I've highlighted, and I've uploaded, marked it, and tagged it, right? Now, let's say 2 years down the line, there is something else that has come up, and I want to see if other people in the company have worked on things like this. We do have an entire deep search option, right? So you can just put in that word or that phrase, or what that topic is about, and it will show you that entire list of who's run projects on this before, what are the insights that we have on this that is there before, has it come up in our interviews, right? The last point that you see there, and something that Insights Hub solves for, is our one-on-one in-depth interviews, or you want to do focus groups and things like that. So you can leverage Interview Lab, have all your notes while you're conducting this research, have it inputted there. You can choose to share it with people within the organization as well. You can choose to add those different nuggets and the key highlights from these interviews. So that's pretty much a snapshot of things that Insights Hub provides. It's a brilliant tool, so brilliant that we got Vivek to open this season's show of Experience Matters to talk about it. He did a quick demo of it as well. If I'm not wrong, it was Jan 14th, right, Prachi? If the one who's joining wants to go and check that out. Yeah, Jan 14th. We had Vidya, who was working as a consultant for the Insights Hub platform, on it as well, talking about the benefits, and then, like I said, the demo as well. So you can definitely go and check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, for everyone who's joined, I know it was us sharing quite a bit of information on our different licenses, and I do understand there are quite a few that you can choose from, but hopefully, based on what we've shared today, which is the right license for your organization, whether you are setting up that entire program in place now, or you have an existing program in place and you want to up it to the next level. These are the multiple licenses that you can leverage, right? We have quite a few people who've joined us live, and we stream across multiple platforms. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, put in the comments. We can get back to you. We'll also share with you a deck highlighting the different features of what we've spoken about today, all of the platform and the licenses, and would love to have that conversation and take it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you didn't see your use case here, or you're not sure where yours fits in, we're always open to solutioning that. Of course, given the limited amount of time, there's some things that might not have come up, but just shoot us a message, and we'll solution it with you. We'll see where it fits, and and you can then take a call of where you want to go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, Mark and Ken, thank you so much for your comments. We're going to have you guys on the show very soon.
I actually want to bring up want to bring up Mark's comment, which I think should be the perfect end to our show. Question Pro is making the world a better place, one survey at a time.
High five.
Yes,
Love.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you,
Great.
everyone, for joining. We'll see you next week, next Friday.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.